Hi guys, the General Secretary of the Unite Union called Tory ministers liars on the Sophie Ridge show on Sunday. Both the Health Secretary and the Prime Minister, when asked about what they're doing to resolve the problems facing the NHS and the current industrial action, well, they resort to massive fibs. Why do they not want to negotiate on pay? Why do they not want to grapple this issue of staff retention? Sharon Graham here explains it could be something quite sinister. Have a listen.
There have been some talks though, right? Stephen Buckley has been talking to some union members, right?
But they're not pay talks. And this is the problem. The big issue here is about pay. There is an issue where the ambulance workers, the nurses, the NHS are saying we need a pay rise. The public is supporting that pay rise, as we can see from surveys. And we've got the employer, in this instance, the government, who will talk about anything, but they won't talk about pay.
Next year's pay rise, right?
But
just
that's
not the one that's gone.
Well, that's not what the dispute is about. The dispute is about 22-23. But they haven't made any offer, Sophie. This is the scenario. I mean, I negotiate every day of my life. I'm in the rooms with CEOs all the time. We know what it does and what has to happen to have deals happen. This employer, being the government, is not interested in doing a deal as far as the NHS is concerned. And I have to say, we are concluding now that there must be a much more sinister reason for this, because this level of self-harm is unprecedented. The public are crying out. I came here in a cab this morning and the cab driver was saying, why don't they just give a pay rise to the NHS? Everybody wants that to happen. It's almost like there is another reason for them doing what they're doing, because it's total incompetence otherwise.
What do you think that reason is then?
Well, I think that they are looking to privatise the NHS. Genuinely, I believe that they're looking as this is the moment they can privatise the NHS. I said when I was on your programme the last time that I was very concerned about the Chancellor, who was the health secretary, who wanted the NHS in the American trade deal. And there was a big fight about making sure it wasn't in the American trade deal. There is something unusual going on here, that they will not come to the table. There are choices that can be made that means we can pay for this. There is not a problem about paying. We're the 5th richest country in the world. There is something going on here. Otherwise, they are at a level of incompetence not known, because it's unreal.
It's a big claim to say the government is looking to privatise the NHS, and that goes against everything that they've said about the NHS remaining free at the point of use. I mean, Labour are prepared to countenance more private sector involvement in the NHS right now than the government. You know, do you have any evidence to back this up? Because I guess what they would say is, look, at the minute, we're spending more on debt interest than education.
No, I'm a little bit disappointed with Sophie Ridge here, because she knows that the NHS is already being privatised. Look, this is from about 11 months ago. It says here, US healthcare giant takeover of GP practices lands in High Court. This has been talked about as NHS privatisation by stealth. But, you know, there is a list of private companies already operating within the healthcare system. You have here Alliance Medical, Virgin Care, Serco, Totally PLC, ZoomDoc. This is just a short list of the number of private providers in the healthcare system. The NHS is already privatised. And we even had this week, Sajid Javid, former health secretary, calls for patients to pay for GP and A&E visits. And there's been no pushback from the government here. Now, he's not a member of the government, he's a backbencher, but he came out and said this, and the government did not say, actually, no, we're not going to do that. So we're at the stage where the Tories are saying, yes, you're going to have to pay to use a GP. You're going to have to pay if you go to A&E. This is unprecedented. I've said before, they want to run it down so they can sell it off to their friends, sell it off to the donors of the party, donors to the party. That's what it's about. It's going to get to a stage where they're going to be pushing next American-style healthcare, where you need health insurance. If you don't have health insurance, you won't get treatment. Or if you do get treatment, you'll have to pay for it and you go into debt. In the United States, the biggest reason why people go bankrupt is because of health costs. People remortgage their homes, sell their property in order to pay medical bills. This is what the Tories want. When Sharon Graham here, the head of Unite, said something sinister, This is the sinister thing she's talking about. It's about selling off the NHS to the friends and donors of the Conservative Party. It has already begun. It has already started. And it's just going to continue. What needs to stop it is a change of government. You need a Labour Party who will come in and undo this damage. Will they do that, though? Remains to be seen. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.